Ilya Topuria just obliterated Charles Oliveira in the main event with a perfect right hand left hook. Oh my goodness, drew him in, let all of the momentum from Charles just coming in super hard with a freaking blast of an atomic right hand and then a left hook. That dude, Charles was out on the first hit. He got hit. He was out. He was probably hurt really, really, really bad. He probably wasn't like all the way out, but the second left flatlined him completely. He was out. His eyes were looking over into the stands by the time his back hit the mat, and then he just followed up with some mean ground and pound to finish it off. It was super unnecessary, but hey, like George Masvidal said, super necessary. So yeah, I mean the fight went about as how I thought it would. If you watched my last fight doing the breakdown, that's what I thought would happen, and it happened, right? So what's next for Topuria? We'll break all that down soon, but first, let's start from the bottom of the card and work our way up like we always do. All right, so we're going to start with the Jonita Diniz fight. He beat Alvin Hines by unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. He was looking good in the first two rounds, given the fact that Alvin Hines this is his first fight in the UFC. He's fighting, kind of a dude who's a little bit of a veteran in the UFC. He's had a couple fights before. Alvin just didn't really look good in the third round. He looked like he was getting, his range down before the eye poke, but, Deniz didn't really impress me too much because he was gassing in a fight. He was dominating on the feet. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like the whole rope-a-dope kind of thing where you're beating up a dude and he's not going down, so you gas out and then you kind of start losing the fight. That's kind of what was going on. He finished the fight strong. He did finish it strong, but he did not impress me. It was an okay fight. Not too, bad to start things off. Next one, we got Jacoby Smith versus Nico Price. Jacoby Smith beating him by rear naked choke in the last minute of the second round. Now, Jacoby Smith did not give the most impressive performance, I would say. He beat a very... This is what is impressive. This is his second fight in the UFC. Nico Price, this is his 19th fight in the UFC, and he went out there and he made light work of him. He did get caught with a couple right hands and a couple, probably about like 4 or 5 really good shots that Nico Price ended up landing. But he stormed him really hard at the beginning of the fight, and then he took him down, beat him up really good, and then you can tell midway through the first round when the fight got back to the feet, Jacoby Smith low-key looks like he needs more experience, because he got up off after that wrestling fest, and looked like he was a little tired, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He looked tired. He looked like he was going to gas out. Nico Price ends up getting, choked out in the next round. Again, wrestle fucked pretty much. Nico's just, man, I think he's done. I hate to say it because he's, comes to fight every time. He's had wars, man, but I think he's done. There's really not much you can do when you're the second fight of the night and it's your 19th fight in the UFC and you lose. Like, bro, you probably got to hang it up, man. Next one, Terrence McKinney, bro, looked great. I low-key had Borshev in this fight. I thought it was going to be a stand-up war, and I thought Borshev had a little bit cleaner defense and a little bit cleaner boxing. So I thought eventually he would, find Terrence McKinney's chin. But Terrence McKinney did not fucking play none of the striking tonight. He went out there, took him down in the first 10 seconds. The first 5 to 10 seconds of a Terrence McKinney fight is always insane, and it always goes into his favor. And dude, that he proved that tonight. He fucking took him down immediately found an anaconda and perfectly transitioned into a mounted guillotine. It was beautiful. Terrence McKinney comes off of that win nice and clean. He might, fight again maybe one more time towards the end of the year, because he took no damage in that fight. I don't even think the dude landed a punch at all, so he didn't even get hit. Big props to T-Rex, man. I thought he was going to get beat. He's up and down, up and down, up and down. I love Terrence McKinney, and I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a striking fest. Hey, I was wrong. I like to eat my words when I'm wrong. Next up, Tracy Cortez defeating Viviane Araújo by unanimous decision in a typical Tracy Cortez kind of way. She just went in there, used her wrestling. Like I said, she was going to press her up against the cage, take her down, just pressure her. Not really do, high amounts of damage, but she went in there, she did her thing, got the job done, and she won. I don't know what's next for her. She fights once a year. Who knows who she fights next. I think her boxing looked a little bit better tonight, but Vivian was definitely not doing anything on the feet. She did nothing. She was so hesitant to do anything because Tracy Cortez's wrestling is just so good that, maybe that's why Tracy's boxing looked great. But, I mean, Tracy did look good on the feet, did her thing on the ground, beat her up. What more can you say? 30-27 across the board. She got it done tonight. Next up, dude, Jose Miguel Delgado. I hope he got $50K for this. He knocked out Hyder Emil in 26 seconds. And boy, it was one of the best knee knockouts I've seen in a long time. He went in there, hit him with the 1-2-3, bop, 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 and off the 3, he went for the clinch and just went for a switch lead knee. And bro, when you're short, dog, you gotta be ready for them knees coming up in the clinch, man. Like, dudes can get their knees up there, man. Like, I don't ever let nobody clinch me. I try not to, because I'm not the tallest guy in the world. But listen, you got to be ready for them knees, dog. You got to do some clinch work, okay? He fucking flatlined Hyder Emil. It looked like he flatlined him, but Hyder Emil kind of woke back up after a couple punches, but it was over. It was a good stoppage. Round 1, Jose Miguel Delgado did very good. It was awesome. Next up, Gregory Rodriguez. Dude, this one was a bad flatline, man. Jack Hermanson was down for a minute. I honestly thought Jack was doing really good. I was doing the Fight Companion, and I was talking about how Gregory's face was, looking busted up, and it didn't even seem like Jack was doing a whole lot on the feet. Like, he was playing pretty decent defense. He wasn't really getting hit too much, really at all, until he got knocked the fuck out. And then, as I was saying, man, Gregory's face is kind of busted. Oh my God. Knocks him out at the end of round 1. It was insane. I think a better put down like $25K that the fight was going to end in under 1.5 rounds, and that he made some money. Next up, Peyton Talbot to open the main card. Peyton Talbot beats Felipe Lima, honestly, pretty convincingly. Like, I think he lost the first round, which I think a lot of judges gave him that because he won 29-28 across the board in a unanimous decision. And then, listen, like, he still doesn't really impress me too much on the feet, the ground game, and like the decision making he makes in terms of technique is great. I love Peyton Talbot for that. But walking people down, just walking straight forward, no head movement, no feints, right? He doesn't level change. He doesn't throw any feints. So, you honestly really don't know what's coming because of that, kind of. But at the same time, it's like, the dude's a walking target. He just walks straight forward. Felipe Lima just seemed like he was too anxious with everything. Like, every little thing that Peyton did, he would jump so big on. He would, and he would, like, explode way too heavy, way too much, taking shots from, a mile away. Peyton Talbot had to adjust after the first round, and then after the first round, he just pretty much schooled Felipe everywhere. And, I can't wait to see what's next for Peyton. It's going to be an interesting matchup on who they give him. I don't know who they give him. If I'm Peyton, I'm like, hey, fuck it, give me Cody Garbrandt. let me whip his ass too. Why not? I thought that was a good showing from Peyton Talbot. Made me eat my words on that one too. I thought Felipe was gonna go in there and have a little bit more success on the ground, but no, that was not the case. Fucking Peyton Talbot, his ground game's a lot better than what I expected. Like, I knew he was good on the ground, but from that whatever the fucking dude's name, Borsellino fight. I know that's not his name, but that, the dude who beat him, he took him down at will and then kept him on his back. Didn't let Payne do anything. So I thought Payne was gonna show, I thought he showed more urgency in those grappling exchanges, and he looked really good. I thought he looked really good tonight. Beneil Dariush beats Hanato Moicano. Hanato needs to change his nickname from Money Moicano to No IQ Moicano. He did not throw a single jab, like barely, right? He didn't throw a lead hook. He was just trying to find his right hand. He kept like feigning his right hand until he was found the range to kind of throw it. He didn't throw so Beneil's in southpaw the whole fight. Moicano didn't throw a single kick to the body, single inside low kick, single head kick. Like, you would have thought he would have took Charles Oliveira's blueprint and throw the cross and the right kick every time, because Beneil Dariush throws a punch and then he does like this shit with his head. Throw a fucking kick. Throw a kick when he moves his head like that. Huh? Like, what are we doing? Beneil Dariush looked great. He was throwing a lot of kicks, especially in that second round, used his wrestling really well. But in the third round, he was just all over Moicano in terms of pace. Everywhere it went, he was throwing punches, right? Everywhere he went, from a clinch up to a knee to the body before they broke, like everywhere. He didn't let Moicano breathe at all. And then Moicano just, not doing anything on the feet in the third round. Didn't throw any kicks. He didn't throw, he shot a takedown with 13 seconds left. and got stuffed. Like, where is your IQ, bro? You have him against the cage. You hurt him bad in the first round. I honestly thought the fight was going to be over. Well, it is what it is. But Neil Dariush finally gets a win from, his skid that he was on. Happy to see that. But yeah. And then, bro, we have to talk about it. Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. Okay? We have to talk about it. Because, last week, I thought the fucking Sadikov versus Moda fight was fight of the year. This gives it a very good run for its money, man. Joshua Van and Brandon Royval, in my opinion, is the fight of the year. Why is it the fight of the year? Because it lasted 3 rounds. It was a full fight, and it was a fucking banger the entire time. Both dudes throwing no caution to the wind. They just didn't give a fuck. Joshua Van, beautiful timing. Anytime Brandon Royval, crashed in on him, he just had beautiful boxing timing, was just timing every time Brandon Royval overcommitted. And then Royval, on the other hand, the sheer volume was taking over Joshua Van in that second round. I thought it was 1-1 going into the second round. I think Joshua Van stole the first round. I think Brandon Royval came back in the second round, had a very good second round. And then in that third round, I thought the momentum was kind of going into Brandon Royval. It was kind of like a toss-up where the momentum was going, but then at the very end, the last 10 seconds, Joshua Van floors Brandon Royval with the right hand because Royval threw like a knee and stepped and was way too close, and he just drew him in, just like Joshua Van was doing all night, drew him in, and the right hand, he landed right there at the end of the round, man. That was a big knockdown. Joshua Van won 29-28, which I agree with. Like I said, I thought Josh won, or Brandon Royval won the second round, but one judge gave it 30-27. I don't see that at all. I don't see Joshua Van winning every single round, especially the second round. The sheer amount of volume, it was just obvious to me that Brandon Royval won the second round. He landed the cleaner shots. He landed more shots. Don't get me wrong, Joshua Van landed very clean shots in that second round as well. It's not like he didn't. It's not like he got shut out. But when you want to compare the clean shots, and the clean shots are similar, you got to look to see who landed more, and that was definitely Brandon Royval, right? And I know they don't got the punch stats or whatever, but that's some shit you got to be aware of as a judge. You got to have that knowledge, like, okay, they both landed clean shots. Who landed more? It was obviously Brandon Royval, but none of that shit mattered because in that third round, he fucking dropped Brandon Royval, stole the round totally, and in that third round really was a toss-up. I did not know who was winning that third round. They had to swing for the fences in the last 10 seconds just to see who would get the advantage going into the decision. So, great fight, amazing fight. Joshua Van is next in line to fight Pantoja. Got to talk about that because we've seen Joshua Van on the feet. We know how good he is. We know how good his boxing is. We know how good his timing is. What does he look like on the ground? What does he look like when someone's pressuring him against the fence and taking him down over and over again and taking his back and holding him down? And then if he gets up, what does he look like after that? Is he gassed? Is he a little tired? Because he did look a little tired in this fight. Now, don't get me wrong. It was a high-paced fight, right? Those watching that shit got me tired. But it's different when you're mixing in the grappling. It was a striking tired, right? That was the striking cardio. When you fight Pantoja, be ready for a war on the feet and be ready for fucking hell in the clinch and on the ground, right? You got to be ready everywhere. It's like another Marab, you know what I mean? Like, you just got to be ready everywhere. So that's my biggest question going into the Pantoja fight is we don't know what Joshua Van looks like on the ground. What does he look like when someone is pressuring him with grappling? We will see. We will find out. And I do think on the feet he has an advantage. Pantoja is just a fucking 125-pound Duplessis on the feet. He is so weird in the striking. He drops his head every single time he throws a punch. Like, his head literally just goes down almost every single time, so it's hard to find his chin. You have to hit him with uppercuts. You have to hit him with something coming up, which is scary because when you throw uppercuts, he's throwing looping shots over your uppercut. So it's just like, he's making you make these decisions. And so if Joshua Van isn't throwing up kicks, knees, uppercuts, it's going to be hard to find Pantoja's chin. It's just really is going to be, and you're going to have to find Pantoja in the exchanges, and then yeah, so that's going to be a fun fight. And now Alexandre Pantoja defeated Kai Kara-France by submission at the beginning of round 3, and he was just all over Kai tonight, man. I really feel for Kai because he looked ready, and then the moment the fight started, he was very hesitant everywhere. It just didn't seem like he could get going anywhere at all. He landed like 1 or 2 really good right hands, I think, in the second round. Maybe the second round, because it ended so fast in the third. So he looked a little good in the second round, and then Pantoja definitely looked like he was getting a little tired. When I was watching it, I was like, is Pantoja getting tired? But I don't know if it's just his body language just gives you a different, looks like something different than what it really is. But he looked like he was getting tired, but then when he would initiate, he didn't look tired, right? So I was kind of like, his body language looks tired, but then he kind of, like, when he's in these exchanges, he doesn't look tired. Second round, Kai was doing a really good job of keeping him off his legs, and then when he went back to the stool, Pantoja's corner was like, hey, grappling advice. And I was kind of like, does Pantoja want to grapple? Because he looks fucking tired. Went out there in the third round, grappled, took his back, choked his ass out. Maybe he wasn't tired. Maybe it was just weird body language. It's kind of deceiving what his body looks like or what his actions look like when he's in the cage. Because Kai looked fresh, and it looked like Pantoja was kind of slowly fading in the second round. And I was like, damn, this is the second round. And even I think the commentators were kind of like, does Pantoja look tired? So, yeah, it was a good fight up until it wasn't, right? And Pantoja just looked like a beast, man. He was just everywhere. He was just fucking him up on the feet. Kai had nothing for him on the ground. He's just, dude, Alex is solid everywhere, and that's why he's the 125-pound champ, 100%. So, that fight with Joshua Van is going to be good. Now, the main event, boys and girls, we all know what the fuck I was talking about. Listen. I missed a lot on this card, okay? I did miss a lot, I will say. I missed more than usual, okay? I was batting lower than my average on this card. But I hit a fucking home run when I said Topuria was going to knock out Charles Oliveira. Now, I know maybe a lot of people thought that, but there was 100% no other way I thought this fight was going to go. I thought, so this was a parlay, okay? The parlay was, not my parlay, just a parlay I seen. Ilia Topuria knocks out Charles Oliveira. He's going to have plus 55 significant strikes. And I was like, okay, stop there. Plus 55 significant strikes. Charles is lucky if he gets out of 20. Charles is lucky if Topuria lands more than 20 and he's still in the fight. Topuria is not a 55 plus significant strike guy. He is I'm going to knock you out in 30 punches or less. Like, you don't take 55 punches from Ilia Topuria. He knocks you out in the first fucking 10 punches he lands. Like, that's the thing. When he finds his range and finds the right hand, you're going to fucking go to sleep or you're going to get rocked. That's just how it is. He don't land 55 plus fights unless it's a close fight, like kind of like the Holloway one was a little bit at first until he found his range. But in terms of Oliveira, I knew Oliveira wasn't going to last over 55 punches. That's just not Oliveira. He breaks very fast. And, bro, so we've never seen Oliveira get fucking slept like that. Man. And he got slept, man. He got flatlined, totally unconscious. We've never seen that happen before. We've seen him get hurt. We've seen him, crumble. But we've never seen him go out, And I think that's just Topuria, man. That is just Ilia. He is that guy. And he knows how to draw people in. He knows how to connect to the fucking right hand. He is the best boxer in the UFC. You could give an argument as Jack Della Maddalena, but Jack Della Maddalena is not obliterating guys' chins. And it's not that he's just obliterating guys' chins because he's throwing big haymakers. He's doing it very, very strategically. And he has a beautiful fundamental technique. And so those are my top 3 best boxers, right? Is Topuria, Jack Della Maddalena, and Joshua Van. Those are my top 3 boxers in the UFC right now. I do believe those are the best, all well-rounded boxers. And I would like to see a little bit more head movement out of Van. That's why I have him third, because he has great timing. He has great combinations. He works behind his jab, but he doesn't really move his head a whole lot. Like, he was, snapping and going, but, like, that's really it. He's not, like, rolling after his punches, throwing a hook and rolling. Like, Topuria's throwing hooks, rolling, throwing right hands, rolling, slip. Jack Della Maddalena is doing the same thing, touch, pull, returns, right? That's what we call him, touch, pull, return. He's doing a lot of that, so I got those guys. But listen, man, what's next so what? We're really doing Paddy the Baddy versus Topuria? That's going to be the same exact thing that happened in this fight. I don't know when. I don't know if it's going to be the first round. I think Paddy has a little bit more on him that he could take, because he hasn't been, in the wars that Oliveira has, so maybe he could wear a punch a little bit better. But, dude, Paddy, you cannot go out there with your fucking chin straight up against this guy, man. Like, he is going to take your fucking head off. And Topuria said, "I'm gonna submit you," and I think Paddy might be stronger than Topuria, because he's fucking big. Like, let's not sugarcoat it. Paddy is fucking big, and he's fucking strong, right? I don't know if he's stronger than Topuria, because Topuria fucking manhandled Charles, and Charles is fucking huge. Like, he was getting pressed against the cage, but, like, when Oliveira went for that takedown, it looked so shitty. Like, he just didn't have no control over Topuria. Topuria was so much stronger, and then he ended up on top just really easy, and then was kind of controlling Oliveira in that, close guard situation. And then he almost passed. He went to half guard, almost had him in a deep mounted crucifix, which is, very surprising, but honestly not surprising, because I was saying that Topuria is, he's got great grappling. I already knew that. But yeah, man, the fucking holy shit. If we're doing Paddy versus Topuria, R.I.P. Paddy, the Scouzer's gonna get knocked out. The Scouser is gonna get knocked out, and we're gonna see it. And I love Paddy. I love his enthusiasm. I love his attitude. But Topuria is the fucking man right now. He just had a flawless victory against Charles Oliveira, former champion. Now he is the champion. And, I love that they're not... Honestly, I do love that they're not giving Arman Sarukian the next title fight. Run it back with Gamrot or something, because, like, I think you should be punished a little bit. Not necessarily punished, right? It's a harsh word, but, like, you should have to fight your way back to a title shot. You had your title shot, dog. And the fucking day of weigh-ins, or the day before weigh-ins, your back hurts. And then a month later, or 3 weeks, 4 weeks later, however long, could be longer, you're in a jiu-jitsu tournament. If your back was hurting 3 weeks, like, what, bro? And honestly, I think fucking Arman Sarukian's on steroids. I'm just gonna say that right now. That motherfucker's swollen everywhere. Like, why the fuck is your back hurting? I don't understand. I don't get it. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't know why. I'm tired. That's why I kind of threw that out there. Fuck it. I don't care. Fuck it. I'm standing on business. I'm standing my base. Motherfucker's on steroids. Anyway, Ilya looked fucking phenomenal. I cannot wait to see him back in the cage. He is my favorite fighter right now. This dude is so good mentally. He's so good technically. I don't know what's next for Oliveira. Take a long time off. Take a year off. You get obliterated like that, take a long time off, dude, and then maybe do one more. One more. Sell off into the sunset. You have all the money in the world. Tip your hat. Maybe fight for a BMF title. Maybe fight the winner of Holloway and Poirier. If Poirier wins, then maybe not. But if Holloway wins, maybe fight. That would be a sick fight. Charles Oliveira versus Holloway. That'd be a sick fight. I wouldn't mind that. I honestly wanted to see Oliveira versus Paddy the Baddy too. That would have been an awesome fight. That would have been a good fight, because I don't think Paddy would knock out Oliveira. That'd be a very close fight. I think Oliveira edges him out. But yeah, I mean, why not BMF title for Oliveira? Right off into the sunset with the BMF title. Tip your hat, say goodbye, because I mean, you might have to defend the BMF title. Since you're the BMF, you got to show why you're the BMF. I don't know what's next for you guys. I don't have, like, all the fighters in front of me. I don't know. But amazing fight. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. So that's it. I'm going to go get some sleep now. Peace out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you comment your favorite part of the fight. I think I know what 90% of everyone's favorite part was. Well, maybe not 90%, because everyone loves Charles. So maybe that wasn't everyone's favorite part. That was my favorite part, though. Even though I like Charles. That shit was sick to see. That motherfucker's badass. Topuria. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, everybody.